Two Broads and a Brit, or Haters Gonna Hate. I'm Lynn Hollywood Hartram, along with my co-host, Caitlin, the blonde bombshell Greer.
Yes! Hey guys, what's up? That's my first cool nickname in my whole life.
Well, I don't know how you're going to follow.
Hazel.
Thank you very much.
Hazelnut.
Good afternoon to my colonial friends from afar.
What's going
How
on?
are you?
We are
You
doing
alright?
good. Yeah, doing good.
We've made it.
We have made it, guys. We want to just thank anyone who's actually taken time out of their lives to listen to this crap. We're fully aware.
We've got 24 subscribers now.
Yeah, 24 on YouTube. We're doing good. And then,
They've clearly got
listen
nothing going on with their lives. So, I thank, from the bottom of my heart for that, for listening to this shit every week. So,
It's not good, but it's entertaining.
no, but we'll see how many we got next Sunday. So
12.
Yeah.
We're going to cut it in half.
It'd be
That's
not the stock exchange. It'd just keep going up and down.
Yeah.
And then we got to work out.
I don't think it's going to go back up after.
Then we got to work out which one of the three of us has got to go. So.
Is it me?
No.
It'll be me.
I don't know,
The blondes always die first.
Get rid of the oldest first. Yeah. They always get rid of the oldest.
So funny.
I'm staying.
She lives here. She has to stay.
They can't get rid of Hollywood Hartram. I mean, that's
true.
Hey, you got to give the people what they want,
right?
You're gluing the show together, Lynn. I mean,
I don't know about that, but
It's true. So today we are going to talk about, actually Lee is going to inform us all about spontaneous human combustion. So hold on to those pants, kid, because they're going to burn right off because you're going to blow up and die. I don't know anything about it, so I'm really interested to learn. So take it away, Lee.
Oh, God. Well, as always, hold on to your tin helmets because we're in for a ride. When I first did the first show, do you remember I explained about when I was a kid? This is before I got me telescope,
Yeah.
These are the few years before I started polishing my telescope. But when me and my mum used to read the unexplained books, one of the things that really, really caught my eye was about spontaneous human combustion. And there's all these pictures of these people who've literally just, I don't know, you know how it is, you one evening you think, you know what, I'll watch a bit of telly, I've got a cup of tea, maybe a bit of cheese on toast on your lap, and you think, right, the evening's just starting, and all of a sudden you just fucking go up in flames.
That sounds like a terrible night.
What?
Cheese on toast? Just
it's
cheese on toast and tea? Is that like a wild night in Lee's childhood?
Well, we used to have a lot of cheese on toast, but it's
okay.
more power to you, buddy.
It's a South London delicacy.
I'm into it.
So you basically got all your bits together, and you're sitting indoors, watch a bit of telly, and all of a sudden you just go up in fucking flames. For no reason. And all these scientists were baffled by it, and there's all these pictures of the remains of these poor bastards who've literally just, think, well, they've not had the best of evenings. So they literally just go up in flames, and the temperature is so high and hot that there's no fucking bones left, right? So the only thing... Yes. So
really?
Jeez.
Go on.
This is the thing. It ain't like they've left the fag burning and it's, gone, full of sleep or,
I love that British slang.
Yes. Dear Americans, fag means cigarette, just in case.
It's not like,
keep going.
You've had a few pints indoors, left the fag burning, and you've gone up in smoke. To my knowledge, the only thing that can get rid of bones is where they cremate people.
Right. Super hot. Do you know what the temperature is at all?
There's a bit on it later on. There's something like 3,000 degrees or something like that. So there's literally nothing left of these people other than an ankle and a foot or whatever it is, or a couple of hands or whatever, and everything around them that is combustible doesn't actually burn. That's
it. I combusted.
that doesn't actually burn. So it's not like, the walls have gone up, the settee's gone up, the fucking curtains have gone up. It's literally just the person.
Wow.
So I was intrigued by these pictures as a kid. And it does seem to be a running theme of these pictures. They're all in black and white. They all seem to be the remains of a little old lady. And oddly enough, she's obviously sitting maybe too near the fireplace.
It's just a hot fire.
You know, old ladies in Britain, they like, a little bottle of stout now and then, and they thought, well, she had, 3 or 4 bottles of pop too many, fallen asleep, too near the fireplace. And could that be an explanation? But it doesn't explain the fact that their bones have gone.
Right.
And literally, you could hoover up after them. You could hoover them up. So that's always that's one of the things that really caught my eye as a kid. What it is, how it became. So anyway, I've done some, as one does. You do the honourable thing and look on the internet for it. So
because that's where we find all of the best information.
So basically, I did what I did last week. I went on the.
Sorry.
First of all, I went on meetup.com and just saw if there was I just started in as a whim, spontaneous human combustion, to see if there was any clubs on spontaneous human combustion. Returned a big fat 0.
Yeah, I can imagine, because they're all nobody exists anymore.
So basically,
I'm noticing, Lee, a pattern. I think you're a fan of Meetup. Are you getting sponsorship from them? Or is it Meat Tuck?
It's Meat Tuck. He's really looking at meattuck.com.
Well, I looked at greetmymeat.com, but that's sort of, you need a password and membership. So maybe that's for next week. So I'll read you a line here. So basically, spontaneous human combustion, I'm going to refer to it as SHC for now.
Okay.
Is a term for the concept of the combustion of a living or recently deceased human body without an apparent external source of ignition. Okay. Current scientific consensus is that most and perhaps all cases of SHC involved overlooked external sources of ignition. External meaning a fireplace, probably.
Okay.
And sitting too near the fucking thing. The fire is believed to start within the body of the victim. This idea and the term spontaneous human combustion were first proposed in 1746. Right?
Really?
This is
where all the real facts came from.
Yeah, this is where we need no other time twat to come back and check it out. By some bloke called Paul Rowley in an article published in the Philosophical Transactions. Okay. And it goes on. Some other guy called Larry Arnold has written a book in 1995 called Ablaze. Brilliant title, that. Ablaze.
Appropriate.
And he's cited that over 300 years, how many incidents do you think has happened in 300 years of spontaneous human combustion?
Are we guessing?
Yeah, I've got the answer here, but go on. I'm pitching it to you.
Go ahead, Lynn. You guess first.
Oh gosh. I'm gonna go with 300.
300? You think? Wait, what's the time period?
300 years.
Oh, see, there you go.
So one a year?
One a year. That's
all right. All right. I'm gonna go a little lower because I feel like it's not super common. So maybe 110.
It's 200.
Really?
Oh.
200 cited reports. Okay, now these are the ones we know about. Okay, so basically, there's a topic in here called the characteristics of spontaneous human combustion. Okay, what are the characteristics? What is there? Is there a running theme? Not just a little old lady, having a few bottles of pop and falling asleep too near the fire. So this topic received coverage in the British Medical Journal in 1938. Okay. It said basically it has the following characteristics. Okay. 1, the victims are chronic alcoholics.
So
Maybe says more about British people.
Booze bag.
Yeah, maybe it's more about British people on the whole rather than just what they found the left. So the victims are chronic alcoholics. Okay,
So
they are
they're highly
usually
flammable.
elderly females. Okay, little old
So
ladies.
little old ladies catch on fire?
Well, if you look at 1 and 2, you got the victims are chronic alcoholics, usually little old ladies. Okay, 3, the body has not burned spontaneously, but has lighted substance has come into contact with it. So they're saying something else has probably come into it. People just don't go up in flames. 4, the hands and feet usually fall off. Well, that's a if that's
Give her a hand.
yeah. So if you've got no body left, then at some point the hands and feet will just drop off, won't they? So
Yeah, well, if you're burning from the inside out, yeah.
I mean, 5, the fire has caused very little damage to combustible things in contact with the body, which is what I was saying. The rest of the living room or the lounge seems to be all right. It's just the body that's affected. 6, the combustion of the body has left the residue of greasy and fetid ashes, very offensive in odour. Now that sounds to me like a congressman. To me, but that's describing.
That's smart humor right there.
You know about Victorians, British Victorians are scientists. Brilliant, the world's best. Sorry to plug that, but they thought it. Well, apparently they thought it was due to alcoholism. They said that Victorian physicians, Dr. Fuckernuts, and the rest of the General Medical Council.
That's my primary care.
Just
Dr. Fuckernuts.
The Dr. Fuckernuts, he's appearing every week, but. Some guy called Benjamin Radford, who's a science writer and editor of the science magazine Skeptical Inquirer, cast doubt on the plausibility of spontaneous human combustion. And he's saying, now this is what Dr. Fuckernuts has to say. If SHC is a real phenomenon and not the result of an elderly or infirm person being too close to a flame source, i.e. little old lady plus fireplace plus booze equals hoover it up. There are 7 billion people in the world, right? And yet we don't see reports of people bursting into flame while walking down the street, attending football matches, or sipping a coffee at local Starbucks. That's what he's got to say. That's what he's got to say. Right? Well, I disagree, because the last time I was in Starbucks, when I saw the price of a white chocolate mocha, my fucking temperature soared. I've got to say. My temperature went fucking through the roof. Right? So, they wanted $17 for a white chocolate mocha and a bagel. I mean,
about right. You want whip? 22.
I thought I was going to, go up in flames, but so that's what he's got to say. So what are the causes? What do you think causes this thing?
I don't know. It's so wild to me. It's so wild. Like, why does nothing else around them catch on fire?
Yeah.
Like, if I get it, you're sitting too close to a fireplace, you get the little, spark on you, you're obviously covered in all the booze you've dropped all over yourself during the day because you're just drinking away.
Right.
Because Grandma needs her drinky.
Yeah.
And, but why is nothing else catching on fire?
Yeah. Crazy.
And why is it so bloody hot that it's going through? There's nothing left of bones.
Right.
Well, I mean, if we think about it, the insides are soaked with alcohol. I mean, she's probably pickled at that point if she's elderly and an alcoholic.
Yeah.
So the insides are just soaked with alcohol.
Just actually mentally pictured a jar of pickled grandmas. Just like a bunch of nanas in a jar of just pickled juice.
That's what they do with the feet and the hands.
Being an ex-serial killer myself, I've dismembered many bodies in my time, I have to say. But getting rid of bones is an absolute bugger. I've set fire to corpses many nights, but I can't.
I'm actually starting to believe that you've killed somebody.
These tapes are really going to be evidence one day.
Lynn, you know about my patio around the back. I'm running out of room in there. I'll tell you that.
Right. Perfect place to bury a body.
But you
It's
can't,
so great.
you know, you can't burn bone unless you take the body to a crematorium.
Right. So yeah, that's the other thing. If it's 3,000 degrees, how does nothing else burn at 3,000 degrees?
I mean,
like the chairs are still
because you get your jar of ashes, don't you? They give it to the family. There's the ashes.
Right.
Okay,
right.
so, but you'll be amazed at some of the victims' description that I found. Okay, you'll be. I mean, admittedly, I've seen worse on Tinder. Okay, but this is one of the. This is. I'm not joking. So basically, this is one of the prime cause that they've said is something called the wick effect. Okay.
The wick effect.
W-I-C-K, wick.
Okay.
Like on a candle. As in a candle wick.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, I used to have a cat called Wicker who lives with Karen, and she used to steal my fucking dinner every night, and I used to call that the wick effect. But this is a different wick effect. So the wick effect I can't say this word. Help me out. Hypothesis. Thank you.
Yep.
That'll do.
I'm a genius.
Suggests that a small external flame source, such as a burning cigarette, chars the clothing of the victim at a location, splitting the skin and releasing body fat, which is in turn absorbed into the burned clothing, acting as a wick. So this is what they've come up with, basically saying that, you think you'd notice that, wouldn't you? You think, well,
yeah, but like,
hang on, I'm burning here. I think I'll just put it out,
I just fucking split open and I'm on fire.
Oops, my fat is showing.
They're basically saying a burning cigarette chars the clothing, splits the skin, and then body fat comes out the skin and then starts the ball rolling or something. But you think you'd notice that.
I would light on fire so fast once the skin split, I would be combusted.
This is the best bit. This is, because obviously we've all got time to sit and watch this while it's unfolding. It says the combustion can continue for as long as the fuel is available. So,
so the person is the fuel? Well,
yes.
The
person's own body fat. The human body typically has enough stored energy in fat and other chemical stores to fully combust the body. Even lean people, such as your good selves, have several pounds of fat.
Hey? Bullshit. Don't lie. Just don't lie.
Okay. Even lean people have several pounds of fat in their tissues. Okay. This fat, once heated by the burning clothing, wicks into the clothing, much as candle wax wicks into a lit candle, to provide the fuel needed to keep the wick burning. The protein in the body also burns, but provides less energy than fat. Okay. Feet. This is where you've always got the hands and feet left. Okay. There's always feet don't typically burn because they often have the least fat.
Yeah.
Okay. Hands also have little fat, but may this is the thing. Hands also have little fat, but may burn if resting on the abdomen. Think, well, if you're on fire, you think, well, I'll just rest. I'll just rest my hands while I burn.
This is so toasty warm.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. My fingers, I have like little Jimmy Dean breakfast sausage fingers, so like they might burn on their own without having to rest them comfortably on my burning corpse. Well, I'm not dead yet, but on my burning body. Yeah.
So there's another theory, but the wick effect was generally what I found everywhere. Okay. Another one is ketosis. So are you familiar with ketosis? When your body goes into ketosis?
A little bit, but let's explain it.
Okay. Ketosis is kind of like, when people go on the Atkins diet, okay? Mm-hmm. So they don't eat carbs. So your body, your glucose goes into ketosis. Basically, it's blood sugar, basically. It suggests that ketosis, again, possibly caused by alcoholism, seems to be a running theme here. or low carb dieting produces acetone, which is highly flammable and could therefore lead to apparently spontaneous combustion. Okay,
So
that's
all of these people on the keto diet are flammable?
apparently so, Lynn.
Cool. That's cool.
Yeah, I mean they want to look hot.
Keto's bad for you. You're gonna catch on fire.
Well,
You may look
I mean,
good
they
when you
want-
lose all that weight, but you're gonna catch on fire.
Yeah, I would say the ultimate goal is to look hot, not.
Oh!
But for the win. Leave dad joke of the day.
So
right
anyway, there is about. I thought, well, I'll get the 5 or 6 known cases of spontaneous human combustion. Okay, these go back years. Sometimes some of them decades. Some of them last year. There's one last year. Mainly half of America when Trump got in, but they all went up in
Right.
smoke. I said, yeah, people were fucking on fire.
But we all cried enough to put our flames out at
Well,
the
yeah.
same time. Yeah.
This is the most famous case of all. This is a lady, charming young lady called Mary Reeser. Okay, on 2nd of July, 1951. So we're going back to black and white pictures. Okay. Mary Reeser, bless her, a 67-year-old woman, was found burned to death in her house after her landlady realised that the house's doorknob was unusually warm. And we've all held a warm knob, haven't we? So
Have you, Lee?
Have you held a warm
many
night?
nights, Lynn.
Just that look of knowing.
I could sit here and deny it, Lynn. I could sit here and deny it, but no. No. Right, the landlady, bless her, notified the police, and upon entering the home, they found Reese's remains completely burned into ash, with only one leg remaining. Okay,
Just the leg.
One.
just one leg was remaining.
Must have had wicked fat hands then.
All that was left was one leg. The chair that she was sitting in was also destroyed, so it did take out the chair
Okay.
at that point. During the investigation, detectives found that Reese's temperature was around 3,500 degrees Fahrenheit.
Now, how do they
How
know
do
this?
they-
Yes, how do they know this? How? Who are these detectives, and what kind of thermometer are they using that they can measure temperature from something that happened when they weren't there?
Well, that's what they've concluded to.
Okay.
Again,
Well, there you go.
Well, I'm mad about it.
similar to people's temperatures in Starbucks, when they want a frappuccino and so it's around that figure. So, which puzzled the investigators. Oh, that's not something you see every day, is it? No. Do you have a bit of lunch and then we'll have a look into it? Which puzzled them. So, as almost everything else in the room in which Reeser was found remained intact. Now, Reeser took sleeping pills and was also a smoker. Okay, so she's obviously got a fag on the go. A common theory was that she was smoking a cigarette after taking sleeping pills and then fell asleep while holding a burning cigarette, which could have ignited her gown, ultimately leading to her death. Okay.
Sounds like my early 20s.
Investigators also found the fire had burned a socket, which stopped a clock at 2:26 a.m., suggesting that Reeser had died around that time. So that's 3,500 degrees Fahrenheit. Now that's
Do you know, Lee, how long it takes people to die? Do they have any idea? Like,
Well,
do they die quickly? I'm hoping.
That's
I'm just curious.
I'm hoping for their sake it's fucking quick.
Right,
I would
'Cause I'm
say it's
thinking it would be
spontaneously, like very quick, like very boop, done.
I would
The
imagine
moment
that
that's
splits
why.
open.
Yeah, I would imagine that it's over in seconds. Because it's
I don't know.
So fast.
Well, people burned at the stake didn't die immediately.
Right, but they weren't being burned at 300 million degrees. What is it? 3,000 degrees?
3,000 degrees.
3,500. 3,500. Yeah.
That's
So
crazy.
so that's
Just thinking like
Oh.
Mary Reeser,
How
bless her.
fast is it? How fast do they die?
Is it
That's
slow?
Do they die slow and painful? Can you describe it to me?
Well,
It's
I can.
only
What I can
5
describe
minutes.
is that her
Holding the
family.
knob.
Hey, I'm not describing a warm knob. Thank you very much. But there was some good news after that story because her family didn't have to. They didn't pay the full price for the cremation.
Okay.
You've only got to
Right
do one
side of the
leg,
train
mate.
wreck.
She's only got one leg left. So we're put what we're saving on the crematorium. We're put behind the bar.
Can you imagine Lee at the crematorium? Like, look, you're only doing one leg. Can I get a bargain on this?
It's a good
Give me a discount.
you've obviously got 75% off as it is. So
I'd be like, what? It's only one leg. It's only a leg.
oh yeah, we've saved an absolute packet on this. Let's stick it behind the bar. That's what she'd have wanted. Okay, so there's a silver cloud to everything. So that's Mary, bless her. Okay, moving on to Margaret
Mary.
Hogan.
Rest in pieces, Mary.
Rest in pieces. Do you know what she did for a living? She worked in a jigsaw factory.
So now.
She left because she said she wasn't cut out for the job. So,
You had a leg up on the competition,
Oh!
now brings me on to
hop, skip, and a jump away from retirement.
Margaret Hogan. Now, I missed that one.
She put her best foot forward.
Oh fucking hell!
Okay, we're done. Poor Mary. All right.
Margaret Hogan, an 89-year-old widow who lived alone in a house in Dublin. Well, there's your first fucking clue. There's no one sober in Dublin, ever. Was found
Sorry,
burned.
Irish people.
I don't know. This one, you're going to love this one. I mean,
I'm into
she
it.
was found almost to the point of complete destruction. Okay. On the 28th of March, 1970. Okay. Plastic flowers on a table in the centre of the room had been reduced to liquid, and a television set with a melted screen sat 12 feet from the armchair in which the ashen remains were found. Otherwise, the surroundings were completely untouched. Her 2 feet and both legs from below the knees were undamaged. So again, there's not much body fat in feet. So the feet are remaining.
She had really skinny calves, I guess.
No, but it's cool. I don't know how you hoover that.
2 feet standing there.
Here we go. A small coal fire had been burning in the grate when a neighbour left the house the previous day. Doesn't say if the neighbour was pissed or sober. It doesn't say. I would imagine he's pissed. But it's Dublin. However, no connection between this fire and that in which Mrs. Hogan died could be found. An inquest recorded death by burning, with the cause of the fire listed as unknown. So that's your second candidate. Okay.
So just 2 legs? Like 2 little knees down calves, like just hanging out?
Yeah.
Just standing around?
Yeah. That's the sort of picture you probably swipe left on Tinder.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
awesome.
you could, if you like legs, this is the girl for
You're
you.
a leg man.
If you have a foot fetish, boy, do we have someone for you.
She is
I'm not going
legs.
to disclose my fetishes on this show.
Not today.
I'm sure
We'll
I'll get it
settle
out of
that.
Jay.
You might winkle them out of me. Right.
Wink.
Henry Thomas, bless him. A 73-year-old man was found burned to death in the living room of his council house. Council house, what you guys call the projects.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. Was found burned to death in his living room of his council house in Ebbw Vale, South Wales, in 1980. I don't know if you've ever been to Ebbw Vale in South Wales.
Oh, I lived there.
Did you live? You lived there?
No.
Let me say, I've been there. It's a bigger shithole than Memphis, if you can imagine such a thing. Yeah.
Sorry, South Wales. Sorry,
He-
Memphis.
his-
Sorry, Memphis.
His entire body was incinerated, leaving only his skull and a portion of each leg below the knee.
Cool.
Okay. We're getting a nice little pattern going here.
Yeah.
The feet and legs were still clothed in socks and trousers. Now, there's a good look.
He keeps his socks on.
Oh, well, yeah.
How did they stay up? The trousers. I like saying trousers.
Trousers.
Were they just burned
trousers.
onto his leg, maybe?
It just said that the feet and legs were still clothed in socks and trousers.
Cool.
So,
Wow.
yeah, they must be quite sturdy trousers, I'll tell you that. None of your
Right.
rubbish.
Just
None of your
stand up on
rubbish.
their own.
It's good mate. Good mate there.
Right.
Half of the chair in which he had been sitting was also destroyed. Police forensic officers decided that the incineration of Thomas was due to the wick effect.
Cool.
So
his
they
skin
said-
split and his fat
Poured
poured out and
Yeah, they
Oh,
just
I kinda
basically
wanna
said
see
he-
it.
Yeah, I do.
Basically,
I
he's
do.
basically had a few sherbets and, he's left a cigarette burning, body fat's come out, and this wick effect is basically taking a miss of him. And it's at no point has he woken up during this. So it's,
Wow. I'm thinking a sherbet is different over there than what it is here.
is it a drink? Is it an
Alcohol.
alcoholic beverage?
alcohol, yeah.
Sherbet is like a frozen dessert treat.
It's like an ice cream type thing.
Oh, okay. Sherbet can also mean a cab over here.
Oh, what?
A cab.
A cab?
A cab.
Cool.
A cab.
Like a taxi cab?
Yeah, a taxi cab. A sherbet.
What other kind of cab?
It's a
couldn't tell if it's a
like
cab or
London.
Oh.
London has a rhyming slang, so it's sherbet dab for cab. Oh, yeah, sherbet. Yeah, you get in and then you basically
Yeah.
you tell him where you want to go, and he'll give you a price, and then you suffer from spontaneous human combustion when he gives you the figure.
Yeah.
So that's how it usually works. So this moving on, Michael Faherty. This is in 2010.
Head tea.
Faherty.
What is his name?
I
Michael
can't
Fathead
fucking
T?
pronounce it. Faherty.
Fathead tea.
Fathead
Michael
tea.
Fathead tea. Go on.
Anyway, some bloke
This
who went up.
fuck.
This is in 2010, so this is not that long ago. Okay, the death of Michael Faherty in County Galway, Ireland. Well, there you go. Well, he's in Ireland again. No one sober. Was
Sorry,
recorded.
Ireland. Sorry.
Sorry, Ireland. I'm sorry. I am sorry.
No, it's all right. We're just going to offend everyone.
Was recorded as spontaneous combustion by the coroner. So even the coroner said, you know what? Fucking, this is spontaneous combustion. The doctor, Kyron McLaughlin, made this statement at the inquiry into the death. This fire was thoroughly investigated, and I'm left with the conclusion that this fits into the category of spontaneous human combustion for which there is no adequate explanation. I beg to differ on this one. I basically think he's just being a lazy bastard. I said, you know what, it probably is an explanation, but I'm not going to go and find it. It's easier for me to say, you know what, it's spontaneous human combustion. Put that on his death certificate and let's just get on with the rest of our lives.
Right.
Just, I think,
Lazy.
yeah, it's just being lazy. It's just, you know what, John Nolan. Bless him.
Right.
Poor John Nolan.
Bless him.
Bless him. The most recent reported case of SHC occurred in the early afternoon of September 2017. Right? This is in Tottenham in North London. Right? So when a 70-year-old pensioner, John Nolan, from County Mayo in Ireland,
Irish people are flammable.
appeared to spontaneously burst into flames while walking in the street.
Stop.
What?
Really?
Yeah.
Were there people around? Tell me more. I'm really into it.
So now we're getting out in the street. and people were fucking doing it. Okay.
Imagine
So
seeing
this
that.
isn't in
You're
front
walking
of the
down the
telly.
street, some
I
guy
would be
This
like,
is
yes!
we've got a,
Finally!
we've got one.
Yeah!
This is. But forget you're sitting indoors on the settee with your cheese on toast, cup of tea, and the fire burning, and a few bottles of pop. No, this is in the fucking high street, right?
Yeah,
So
he had things to do, places to go,
I know you had shopping.
fire to catch.
You had shopping to do. You know.
I heard that somebody asked him right before if he had a light.
Fucking. Well, he went out to meet. He went out to meet an old flame. So
This is fun.
yeah. Some passers-by tried to help him at the scene, and he was airlifted to hospital where he died the next day, having suffered
Wow.
severe third-degree burns on 65% of his body.
That's the guy who tried to help him? That was in the hospital?
This is the bloke who died. This is the bloke. Yeah.
Okay.
Apparently, he was still clutching his can of lager when he died because he's Irish. You know. At the time, don't you follow? Right. At the time, investigators were unable to establish a reason for this incident, and his death was treated as unexplained. An inquest was opened at North London Coroner's Court to further examine the circumstances of his death. The coroner concluded. He said, Mr. Nolan accidentally said... Mr. Nolan
He has suspenders, apparently. He's wearing suspenders, so he puts his thumbs under his suspenders and says, "Hey, Mr. Nolan."
Good job you can't see what I'm wearing under here, I'll tell you that. Mr. Coroner concluded Mr. Nolan accidentally set fire to himself while lighting a cigarette, and the cause of death was accidental ignition of clothing. So he said he's lit up a fag in the street and just fucking gone up.
Clearly, nobody who said that has ever smoked a cigarette ever in their life, because that's not enough. Like this little tiny.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're
flame.
completely covered in petrol as well,
Right.
you know,
Like,
which
he's just running around like kerosene all over him, and he's like, you know what?
Like,
Cigarette time. Boop. And then he
he's
lights on
holding
fire.
the flame.
Yeah, and then he just puts the ashes onto himself. Like that makes no sense.
Yeah. So
I'm mad about it.
I think that's a bit of a cop out. You think there's a bit of a cop out?
Yeah.
Did anybody on the street see what happened?
Well, they were all too fucking pissed from the pubs, probably. You know. I think it's no. Is the answer? No, I mean, this incident happened in North London, so you know you have to get into the heartbeat of North London. I'm afraid, Lynn. You know, it's you don't want to go there. You don't want to take your children there.
Okay.
People walking
Sorry,
down
North
the street.
London.
Yeah, well, it's just I can say this. I'm originally from South London. I can say this, but it's a bit like you know Michael Jackson's Thriller video where people walking down the street with limbs falling off them, and that's sort of North London, really.
Nice. There's zombies in North London?
Yeah, it's, you know.
Zombies or heroin addicts. I don't know anything. I just made that up. Sorry, all. Sorry, heroin addict.
We just apologize to everybody.
I'm just kidding. I don't care.
So
I care about nobody.
So anyway, so that brings me to the end of what it is, what it isn't, who's sober, who wasn't sober when they went up.
Sounds like
They were all drunk, except for the street guy. We don't know.
Well, we don't know. I think the answer is they're all fucking smashed. They're all smokers. They're all fucking drunk, and they've just basically gone up and they've just self-inflicted.
I just think that it's so crazy how their bones burn.
Yeah, that I can't fathom out. I know.
Right. Yeah, that's what I don't get is the temperature. Like, they get so hot. Like, okay, I could possibly say, all right, they were drinking, there was a flame.
Right.
It catches on fire, it makes that sound.
Mm-hmm. That's the sound of fire.
It is.
Yeah.
As anybody who knows. But 3,000 degrees? Like, how does that happen? Excuse me, 3.5.
Oh, don't you?
Get your shit straight.
3.5.
3.5
degrees.
Dr. Fuckernuts here with your information.
Dr.
Listen here,
Fuckernuts.
Dr. Fuckernuts is here to tell you what's happening. It's
Dr.
3,500
Fuckernuts can
degrees,
do
kid.
it. It's 3,500.
He's a gangster?
Yeah.
That's
Anyway, I thought, well, there's bound as with all cases, there is pros and cons to everything. Okay, so I'll go through the cons. I wrote down the cons of
fairly obvious, but yeah.
Sorry.
I said fairly obvious, but let's hear what you got.
Let's hear it.
Well, yeah, okay.
It's hot.
Yeah, well, the first one I came up with is it may sting a bit.
Yeah.
I would
it's a
imagine.
very British way to say it.
Yes.
Yeah, it may sting a bit. The second one I came up with, the last time I checked, legs don't grow back. So if you're
Not yet. We're not starfish. Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to survive it, you're not going to grow your legs back, unfortunately.
Well, you get some pretty sweet metal legs.
Well, your legs are there. You just got to grow the rest of your body.
I wonder if. Yeah.
The legs are great.
You're
They
growing
have their
parts of your
trousers.
body back, Lynn. We're going back to warm knob now.
Yeah.
We'll probably.
You are.
Circling back to the warm knob. I've circled back to the warm knob a couple of times in my life. But now I'm married.
My last con was it will probably only happen once.
Yeah.
It's a bit like getting the plague. You only get it once, so there is something to cheer about.
Is this a pro or a con?
This is a con.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Wait,
So
want it
that's
to happen more than one time?
sorry. So that's a pro. Sorry, that is a pro. Sorry,
Yeah.
that is a pro.
Yeah.
Well pointed out, Lynn. Yeah. So that is pro. Yeah, it'll probably only happen once. Thank you, Lynn. Right. Another pro. So we move on to the pros now. If you survive, you've got a legitimate excuse for not opening the front door when it's your turn. That's what as the doorbell rings. If you're sitting there with your mate and your mate says, "What? It's your turn to answer it. Have you got 2 broken legs or something?" And you say, "Well, if only."
Well, now that you
If
mention
only.
it,
Yes.
I have 2 crispy fried chickens hanging off my knees.
Yeah. I've got trousers left, but no legs.
Yeah, the legs are great, but I have no fucking face.
Yeah.
So
you know.
Again, we're getting back to Tinder on that, Lynn. I think.
Yeah.
So you don't have to keep getting up and answering the door when it's your turn. So if another pro is you've got a unique excuse for not making it into work because you can phone up, you can say I'm not going to make it in today due to an internal bodily fire. That's I haven't got flu, I haven't got the cold, I haven't got measles or mumps or sore throat. I've had an internal bodily fire, and I can't make it in. I should be all right by Thursday, but I think I should really rest a bit.
Right. Like, who's going to argue with that? It's like diarrhea. It's the perfect excuse not to go into work. No one wants that near them.
Diarrhea is one of the words that I have a hard time saying. Even though I just said it,
it
makes me sweat a little.
Like,
I just don't like it.
What is it about diarrhea?
I don't know. It's just one of those words. I think it's because it's just a thing. Anyway,
it's too hard to spell as well. It's too hard to spell as well.
Yes, that's why I sweat, because I can't spell it right.
Yeah. It is a weird one. Yeah, it's got 2 R's and an H.
I just give up with it. I mean, it's yeah.
That's
it's another pro. You might get a disabled badge for parking.
Maybe.
Your legs are fine. You can walk.
So if you only lose 1 leg, you'll probably get 50% discount when buying trousers. Which is
Do you
fair.
think that you'll also get like a front row seat in the smoking section?
But they keep you far away. Don't want to catch anyone else on fire.
Yeah.
Or you
You're in
could
the back
say,
of
yeah,
the
if
house,
you got one hand left, say, right, I'm eligible for half-price gloves.
Nice.
Yeah.
I don't want two of them, mate. I don't want two of them. I only want one.
Don't need them.
You know,
Just the left.
yeah, just
Half price manicures too.
Ooh, 50% off.
So that concludes my findings, as it were.
That's a good
So,
job. Well, thanks, Lee.
Well, what do I think about it? I think I'm not buying the wick effect. I'm not buying that. What I am buying is that half of them seem to be from Ireland, and
And the Irish are flammable.
Highly.
That's it. The Irish are just hot and flammable.
They do
That's right.
like
Those
a
Irish
drink.
guys are hot.
They burn like no other.
So, but I can't get my head around the whole burn. I mean, one woman, I mean, it was almost completely disintegrated, only a skull left.
Right.
Yeah,
You know,
the temperature
I don't get
gets me.
how it to reach that temperature. I just don't have the answer, and that's
How is it in a world where we have Noah that we can't figure out the fucking temperature issue?
In a world where we have Noah,
I think.
people are catching on fire.
But I think in. Sorry, Kaylin. Sorry.
No, I'm just rambling. Please talk more about what we're actually here to talk about.
I think in 300 years, there's only been 200 cited cases.
Right.
And I mean, most of them, from what I read, they're sitting indoors on their own.
Yeah.
Jokes aside, I mean, alcohol is a running theme in it. And it's,
Jokes are never aside.
all right, jokes are never aside. They're all fucking smashed. It's self-inflicted.
Who do you think you're talking to?
So basically, if you're a drinker, you run a risk of catching on fire.
Right.
And then leaving just your little limbs.
You could,
if you're like a heavy drinker.
You could, if you're going on a bender and you basically drink all over you, and you fall asleep, pass out, and your cigarette is burning booze all over your shirt, then are they sober enough to control it? I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, that makes sense, but the guy walking down the street confuses me. Like, how?
That confuses me too, but there was no
how
witnesses.
does that happen? But there was people there. They would try to put him out.
It's a high street. He's walking down High Street, what you call Main Street.
Okay.
So he just apparently just went up. I mean, it's
crazy. We need to find witnesses. Hard-hitting.
You won't find any sober witnesses in North London, Lynn. I'll tell you that.
So everyone is drunk.
Everyone in the UK is drunk, evidently.
Well, I'm the only sober person in Britain, Lynn.
What's in that mug, Lee? What are you drinking right now, you little bitch? I know. Well, that's awesome.
I hope you enjoyed it. I mean, I do. I once again, I apologise if I've offended certain nations.
Please. We're never. You know what? We may apologize, but we're not sorry.
We're not sorry.
All right,
we ain't sorry.
I'm not sorry in the slightest.
Offend the Irish, the flat earthers.
I'd like to think after this episode that Britain and Ireland are slightly closer together after this episode.
Nice. Just building the bridge.
That's right.
Yeah.
For one group of drinkers and another group of drinkers to meet in the middle and drink together. That's nice. I like it. That was sweet.
Lee Hazel, bringing nations together.
Lee Hazel.
Oh, that's,
Hazelnut. Responsible for creating more alcoholism in the UK.
I do drive most people to drink, I have to say. So,
yeah.
There you go.
I have a big glass of vodka over here just in case.
Help you get through it. But no. But when going back to the old unexplained magazines when I was a kid, jokes aside, I mean, there was this. My mum, bless her, we collected this magazine every Saturday. I'd give half my pocket money towards this magazine. You know, I'd look forward to this. Me and Mum would sit on the dinner table Saturday afternoon, and we literally, I think I told you this before, Liz, it's how I actually learned to read, believe it or not. British people can read. They can actually read. So I would literally learn to read from my mum's unexplained books, right? So, but the spontaneous human combustion, she was like, "Are you ready to turn the page?" "Oh no, I'm not ready." You know, this thing would just fascinate the fuck out of me.
That's cool.
But they had all the old pictures, and you know, it's just astonishing. Just astonishing.
This explains so much with our last episode regarding all of the different ways you wanted to kill Noah.
Yeah.
I think there's just an overall theme of Lee's fascination with ways to die.
I'm not going to apologise to Noah, no.
No, God, no. Fuck that guy.
No.
Fuck that guy. Fuck that flat earth guy. Fuck the fucking fucks. Fucking. Yes. That's it.
Right.
So.
Very delicately put,
well,
Caitlin.
I'm a delicate little flower.
You should be a newsreader, Caitlin.
Yeah. Tonight on the fucking news, Dr. Fucklechucks, what'd you call him? I don't remember.
Dr. Fuckernuts.
Dr. Fuckernuts has concluded that spontaneous human combustion is a real thing as he lights everyone on fire. That made no sense. So that's awesome. Well, thanks for doing all the research and finding us some cool stories.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
HC. My brain couldn't
I
put the
couldn't
letters.
think of it either.
My brain couldn't put the letters together. You did an awesome job. I learned a little. I learned that feet and hands don't burn.
Yes.
Right.
I love that image.
The little leg.
With the trousers.
The little legs with the trousers. Thanks to everyone. Thanks to everyone who's listening. We want to tell you guys that we had the opportunity to have our first internet hater, and we're so excited about it.
Yay!
It even included, it was horrific. There was C-bombs. There was
left and right.
There was, is it a racial slur? Is that considered a racial slur?
I would absolutely say that that was a racial slur.
Yeah.
Things that I wouldn't say. So it was awesome. So I just want everyone to know, the more hate comments, the better. Because it really makes my day.
Dear Mr. Flat Earther, you made our day.
Yeah, we pissed off the flat earthers. It's
The thing is about the thing is about our little troll guy. Hey, what?
Nothing.
Keep going.
Totally professional.
The thing is about this bloke who wrote all the comments on YouTube. I mean, what I don't get is the fact that he's written about, I don't know, 8 or 9 comments, one after another. Why don't you just write all of them in one fucking paragraph?
Because you can't get your point across. Because you just got to keep them coming. You want to hammer it home.
If you look at the timeline, and the timestamps of it, he's literally thought, right, I'm going to get that off my fucking chest. Bang, send that.
Yeah.
And about 10 seconds later, he's writing another one. Thought, right, they can fucking have that and all. And it's just donk, 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 donk. And then in the end, my mate, Stephen Bishop, bless him, who subscribed to the show, who claims
thanks, Stephen.
Has swooped in and basically saved the day. But bless it, he's I've got a shout out to him. He's a great. I'll tell you what. This might get the tissues out because this is quite so. He was my probably best mate in middle school, and last year he got in touch with me. We hadn't seen each other or spoken to each other for 34 years.
Wow.
And I went out to Wimbledon with him because this is where we used to grow up in South London. And we've been in touch ever since. And lo and behold, because he got in touch with me on Facebook, and we rang each other up, and he's into all the paranormal stuff.
Cool.
Right?
That's awesome.
I don't remember him being into all that paranormal stuff when I was at middle school with him. You know, my role in the relationship was basically copying his homework for 4 years.
Nice.
You know.
So you used him. He said.
Sorry, Fish. Sorry, Fish. Anyway, bless
you
him.
weren't real friends.
Yeah. So
you were the nerd.
He's got in touch after all these donkey's years, and yeah, it's been great. It's been marvelous. So he's
That's awesome.
subscribed.
Woo woo.
He's lowered his standards and subscribed. So is
We appreciate that.
my
Thanks,
niece, my niece Sophie Hazel, who's also
Thanks,
subscribed.
Sophie. Shout out to Sophie Hazel.
She's 1 week after her party. She's finally sobered up.
Nice.
And she's
And in
hit
Florida.
the subscribe button. So, but yeah, she's still in America. So shout out to the
All
soap
those
star.
Florida men.
Well, she's with her fella.
Our next guy did some stuff in Florida.
Oh, was he a Florida man?
Not originally.
Mm.
So thank you to our new subscribers.
Yes.
Again, please feel free to also like and subscribe. We also have a SoundCloud, and we're going to work on all the other things for the podcast. We're technologically special, so
Right.
it takes us a little bit of time. Thanks for listening. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for just, dealing with how terrible this actually is. 'Cause
Thank
it's
you
not good.
For lowering your standards.
Yes, like Lee said, lowering your standards. Just come on down to our level. It's about 3 levels below ground. It's real low. And then join us next time where we're talking about this fancy guy named Carl Tanzler. He's a diehard romantic, and that's all I'll say. That's all I'll say. All right, guys, until next time, it's 2 broads and a Brit. Go fuck yourself.
Go on, piss off the fucking lot of you.